Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Active Reload, episode 45, the great Pedro Martinez episode. Grant, what's your favorite number for 45 or favorite person for 45?
Jim McMahon, 1985 Bears. Greatest football team in the history of the NFL. He was a quarterback.
Pulling that from out of nowhere. We got a lot of stuff we got to talk about today. Breaking news. Microsoft, they're closing a bunch of studios, unfortunately. They're firing people left and right. It's not going great over there at Microsoft or Xbox Studios. We'll see if we'll talk about it. We'll just get into it. Sony, they've been going through a big thing. Helldivers 2 was going to be required to have a PSN account. We're going to go through that. Sony reversed that decision, probably pretty smartly.
Nice flip-flop.
Yeah, nice little flip-flop. Nintendo confirms that they will announce its next console this fiscal year.
Announcement of announcement.
An announcement of announcement. And then Hades 2 Early Access came out. We're going to talk a little bit about that, and then we'll get into our games releasing this week, and then whatever else is going on, we're just going to talk about random stuff.
Yep.
Welcome to the show. Microsoft, ever heard of them? They're pretty big.
Pretty big.
Which is ironic because it's Microsoft.
Software.
So they make small software?
Yeah.
Is that the...
Silicon.
You just blew my mind right there.
What a concept.
I had no idea that that's why they were called that. Well, they had some big things happening. I'm pulling up a quote right now, really quickly, before we get into this.
Oh, I forgot to put that quote on there.
I don't know if you're talking about the same quote that I'm talking about.
It was a great quote.
We'll see.
Okay.
Probably not. Here's what... Okay, so Microsoft, before we get into this, they're closing a bunch of studios. They're closing Arkane Austin. They're closing Tango Gameworks.
Oh, that was a hard one.
Elder Scrolls Online co-developer Roundhouse, Roadhouse is the movie. Roundhouse is the one that they're closing, and then Alpha Dog, who made Mighty Doom on mobile. So a bunch of studios are being closed. Very sad. Hi-Fi Rush was one of the biggest surprises of last year, I would say. Yeah. Very, very high appeal for that, or high acclaim for that game, I guess is what I should say.
Yeah.
Got moved over to PlayStation or ported over to PlayStation within the last few months.
A couple weeks ago.
So it seemed like they were doing pretty well. Clearly, Microsoft thought otherwise. This is a quote from, I don't know when this was exactly, but I would say within the last...
Who's it from?
It's from Phil. Big Philly Spencer. Phil Spencer.
Oh, this is not the quote.
This is not a current quote.
Oh, okay.
But I'm like, this is from a few months ago.
Okay.
In an interview of some kind. He said, quote, "One thing I won't do is push against creative aspirations of our teams. When a team like Rare wants to do Sea of Thieves, when a team like Obsidian wants to do Grounded, when Tango wants to do Hi-Fi, when everyone thought they were probably doing The Evil Within 3, I want to give the teams the creative platform to go and push their ability, to push their aspirations." End quote. And after that quote came out, within a couple months, he has shut down Tango. He clearly is not okay with them just making Hi-Fi Rush of some kind.
Well, I think what he meant in that quote is that, freedom to make a game that you are passionate about and will finance you, but if you don't bring in them cash...
Yeah, but...
I mean, as much as I love Tango, I love Tango Gameworks. And ever since Evil Within 1, Evil Within 2, even Hi-Fi Rush, and definitely Ghostwire Tokyo, they didn't sell well.
It is the name of the game. I just find that quote very ironic because...
Yeah. Well, you're going to find a bunch of those.
He's mentioning Hi-Fi Rush in particular, too, which is funny. But also, like you said, Elder Scrolls Online co-developer Roundhouse.
Yeah.
They clearly make money.
Co-developer, though, do they need them? I'm not saying this is a good thing.
No, it's not.
I'm just trying to figure out.
But it's also, they spent an ungodly amount of money acquiring studios, and I think at this point, they're trying to trim some of the fat.
Well, they're also...
a lot of that.
Probably moving a lot of studios that they bought into Call of Duty roles.
Wow, that made me really depressed right there, what you just said to that. Yeah. That makes me really sad.
And it's not like Microsoft is doing this because they're mean. They're a bunch of meanies, and they just like firing good people. But
that's the opposite of what you just said, though, and what that quote means. They're all he's pushing them into Call of Duty type roles for video games is the opposite of what we just got from that quote.
No, I didn't say they're pushing everybody into it. I said they're probably pushing some teams, or at least that's what I meant to say. They're pushing somebody into more Call of Duty roles.
But nobody from what was it? Tango. Tango. Sorry, I keep wanting to call them tag team for some reason.
I know, it's okay.
Tango. Nobody wants to work on a Call of Duty type of video game.
They do not.
Absolutely not. So you're gonna gut Tango essentially, and then the people that you do keep on, you're gonna ask them to join another studio, but none of them are gonna want to join another studio that's doing stuff like that.
Well, I mean,
maybe
it's your boss.
I don't know.
I have to do things here that I don't want to do. I mean, not really. I love doing everything.
Yeah,
I love doing everything here.
In what world?
But I mean, sometimes
it's also different though, because you're working on a project for like 9 to 15 months versus
that's true.
For projects in our industry, it's a lot shorter.
It's not. I hate this news. I hate these news, these news articles, these news revelations. It seems like every single day somebody's getting fired. Giant game conglomerations, they're just not good. Nintendo is going to come up later, and
well, they're the only one that seems to be good for the most part.
Yeah, and we never play their games.
Yeah, we're not Nintendo fiends like a lot of people, but they keep their employees. It's also a different work culture in Japan and Nintendo. Like, they keep their employees for a long time. I
guess they're also not like a big global of a company as Sony or Microsoft. Yeah.
Nintendo's known in our part of the world, obviously, but it's a lot bigger in Japan, I think, than we even give it credit for.
I have no idea, actually.
Really? Walk into a gas station, you're going to see Mario doing something.
Here?
No, in Japan.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You'll probably find a little stuffed Mario.
Probably
something. You know? I mean, that's just how it works. A Goomba?
I love Goombas. I think Goombas are like one of my favorite video game bad guy minions, I guess you would call.
Future top 5.
Ooh.
Top 5 favorite video game bad guys.
Goombas are definitely in there. I love smashing on them, jumping on them, and they're a little small.
Classic. And the turtles. So I like the turtles because the shell bounces.
Yep.
Dude, shout out Mario. Nintendo. I don't play it very often, but Mario.
I'll tell you, when we talk about Nintendo later, I'll talk about it. So
it's sad. They also let go 1,900 other people in January. So this has been a lot of layoffs for Microsoft-related companies and Microsoft-related developers and Microsoft in general. Which is because I think it was kind of expected when they made these acquisitions that they were going to have to let a decent amount of these people go to try to make the books look like it was a decent acquisition, because they all weren't going to release stuff immediately, obviously, and some of these things weren't going to be released and weren't going to be good or weren't going to sell well, like Redfall, which is what Arkane Austin made most recently.
Yes, and they also made Prey, right?
They also made Prey. They were also responsible for the first Dishonored game as well. Which is very well renowned.
So I thought that was the big A team at Arkane.
No, I think they did the first one, and then the A team at Arkane did Dishonored 2. Okay. From what I remember reading.
So they must have split at one point.
Yeah. It could have, exactly. And they could have split up and then, but regardless.
Because that team, Arkane, they're still making Blade, right?
Yeah, that's the other team. And where are they? Where's the A team? Toronto, is that right?
I have no idea.
I'm going to say Montreal or Toronto. That's just ringing a bell in my head for some reason. Don't know why.
I think they have one in France, too. Lyon. Because I think one of the guys from Lyon, on one of the developers, he made a quote, and I didn't write it down, but it was pretty
And
harsh.
he said, this sucks.
He was like, it's a gut stab, basically.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, it's a stab in the gut. But he probably said it incorrectly. Like
he basically said he was hinting towards
going on a revenge.
You give us this respect, but you show us no respect in the firings, basically. You give us creative respect, but when it comes to,
the respect to our employees, you're giving us none. Yeah. He did fire the guy that fired him too, which this is really funny. The person that sent, and they fired him by email, by the way, which is never good. But again, a ton of people. It's not like you're going to have them all sit down. Like I get it's a logistics problem, but the person that fired him was, I think, the creative lead, quote unquote, for Xbox Game Studios, and his name's Matt Booty.
What a name!
It was a booty call.
Yeah,
that got them fired.
I hope that guy's working on that Pirates game.
Nice. That's a good one too.
Jeez.
Even though I said it was a booty call, it was actually a booty email. So that sucks. Yeah, it sucks for Arkane, honestly.
Can you send a booty call through an email, like an actual one?
You should check your spam. They're there all the time.
You're right.
Bingo.
What am I thinking?
Arkane, though. Arkane was one of those developers that felt like they were on a rise to be a pretty consistent, like AAA developer for a long time, especially after the first couple of Dishonored games. Prey came out, and a lot of people enjoyed that game as well.
Such a good game.
And then
didn't sell well though.
Yeah, well, that's the other problem. Is I think they make a lot of games that are niche is maybe not the right word, but appeal to a very specific type of audience.
Well, when you take Dishonored is practically a stealth game.
Yeah. See, and I've never played Dishonored.
You haven't?
Nope, never. Haven't played first or the second one.
The first one's really good. The second one, not so much.
Really? Okay.
They were never really good stories. The first one, it's one of those things that there's a good story, but it's just not told well. And Dishonored 1, they don't really tell the story very much. You play it. Dishonored 2, they really get into like a narrative through and through.
Right. Characters
with voice actors, and it wasn't very good. Story-wise. Gameplay-wise, it was great.
Arkane also made, I'm forgetting the name of the game, Deathloop.
Deathloop, yeah.
But I can't remember if it was Arkane Austin. I don't think it was Arkane Austin.
I don't think so either, because
the A-team. But that's what I mean. They make a lot of really good. Games titles, even if they don't sell necessarily.
Tango,
well.
Shinji Mikami, who founded Tango, he left last year, but I mean,
did he make Ghostwire Tokyo? Or was he responsible?
He did.
So he made it and then left Tango.
Yeah, and I think he might have had a hand in Hi-Fi Rush, but it came out, or he probably left right before it came out.
Right.
Last year.
Did he leave after, like, when the acquisition happened between Xbox and Tango?
Afterwards, yeah. But he said that he was trying to leave a long time ago because Tango was acquired by ZeniMax, which is
Bethesda's parent company.
And he felt that he didn't have a producer-director role. He was kind of he said, rank and file employee. That's what he felt like. But that guy is legendary. I mean, that guy made the original Resident Evil, Dino Crisis, which was awesome, God Hand, which was an underrated PS1, PS2 game. He made Resident Evil 4.
How do you know all of this?
He's one of my favorite developers. Resident Evil 4 he made. He made The Evil Within 2, Ghostwire Tokyo.
Okay.
Oh, and one of my all-time favorite games from Platinum Games, the third-person shooter game. I don't know why. No, not Gears of War. Very action-packed, super athletic, futuristic.
What does athletic mean?
Jumping up and down, sliding.
Uncharted.
No. More athletic.
Platinum Games.
Platinum Games.
I'm going to figure this out. It was...
Vanquish,
that's right.
I had to look at you in order to see it.
Because you want to vanquish me.
Yeah.
Right.
Please.
That's fair. Sad day in the industry. It feels like... I don't want to see more of these are coming, but it has been a constant.
Oh, they're coming.
It's been a snowball. Like, there's been a lot of these. It's also, we only ever hear about the firings, the layoffs, obviously. There's plenty of people that are being hired by video game studios as well.
A lot of people being hired, and a lot of people are lowering their budgets, for God's sake.
Which is a good thing, because we just saw Skull and Bones come out and sink.
It's funny how Ubisoft Montreal and Ubisoft San Francisco, Ubisoft, all the other cities that Ubisoft has teams in.
Yeah. They're fine.
They stay around forever.
Yeah.
Is that all that Tom Clancy money?
Money laundering?
Those Frenchies. French laundry.
Tom Clancy money's a good shout, actually. Because Tom Clancy, for some reason, just has money hidden. It's true. Just like a Tom Clancy novel, he has money just coming out of everywhere. There's money
Dark
everywhere.
Money. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. It feels like there's probably going to be more. It has been snowballing a lot. We've been hearing tons of layoffs from tons of different studios. And I hope this is the last one, obviously. But,
R.I.P. Mighty Doom.
R.I.P. Mighty Doom. Yeah, the guys that made Mighty Doom are now ripped. It's over. They've been ripped and torn. I'm trying to tighten it because it has been slipping a little bit. Sorry. Okay, let's move on. Shout out to the people. We hope you get new jobs.
So,
obviously,
do you remember what I said last week?
How are you going to interrupt me when I'm telling people I hope they get new jobs?
Yeah, I know. My bad. Go ahead.
I hope they get new jobs. I hope they land on their feet, as always. I hope you get a good, what's it called when you get fired and then they have a deal?
Learn to weld?
No, a deal for you once you leave that they give you a certain amount of pay.
Severance package.
Severance package. I hope you all get a good severance package.
I've had a couple of them.
That should always be included if you're getting laid off like that. All right, let's move on. Sony. Speaking of video games.
Well, remember last week when I said gamers and their
Rise up.
rage. They have a double-edged sword.
Yeah, true.
Truly, well, they
double-edged.
really do put their money where their mouths are because Sony said that you PC users for Helldivers 2 will be required to have a PSN account
Yeah.
to link it to
This is a
their
big deal.
PlayStation account or make a new one.
Yep.
And they just said no and gave bad reviews and dropped their review score from very positive to mixed on Steam.
The review system on Steam is weird.
Review bombed heavily, which is kind of a protest and kind of a lot of people, I'm sure people gave it a bad review as a protest.
Right.
And just jumped in. But some people don't like that. I know I don't like that. When I had to change, when I had to make an Epic account for Rocket League, that was a pain in the butt. That took like 2 hours. And I never played Rocket League ever again because of it. And not because I was protesting. It's like I didn't want to make an Epic account and I didn't want to link a bunch of stuff. I think I made 4 Epic accounts. I couldn't get my password. It was a bunch of nonsense. And so, yeah, Steam users, PC players, they don't like that. They just like to get in and go. There's already a bunch of stuff involved with PC gaming that is annoying.
The gamers have to rise
drivers.
up. The gamers have to rise up. Okay, we cannot let them. These companies, these whatever game developers keep getting away with this. Okay, they keep putting out stuff that is half butted, not nearly as good, and it feels like years ago we were getting better quality stuff. And we have to rise up, and the gamers are rising up. Look at the sales numbers. Call of Duty is definitely not at the top of the list every year. Madden is definitely not at the top of the list every year. NBA 2K is not at the top of the list anymore.
You're making fun of them.
I'm being very sarcastic.
But
they're truly double-edged swords.
To be fair, when it comes to Call of Duty's good every year. It's good.
I don't think that's the complaint, though. They want different varieties.
They want different varieties, okay, but they still play it. Madden is not
Madden good?
No.
No, and it sells like hotcakes come August.
Yes, but
same with NBA.
A lot of those players, a lot of those are sports fans. They just want to play a sports game, and there's no other football NFL game that you can get.
Gamers got to rise up, though.
And we're going to rise up and play NCAA. We got to rise up. That's all right. Sony reversed it, though. It took 6 days.
True. It worked.
And in what you said, we have to rise up against these developers. No, this is a mega corporation.
Yeah, well, it was, I guess publishers probably is better.
Yeah, and Sony is not a small developer. These guys are gigantic.
No, they're huge.
They're not
they sell
Microsoft, but Sony Ericsson, you know what? Not a bad phone.
I've never used a Sony phone. One of my favorite things to do in movies, though, if you ever watch a movie, is to watch for the product placement on phones.
Yeah.
Because it is other than cars, it is the most rampant version of product placement.
Cars are fine because
it can be done okay. Yeah. But there are versions that are really
You're not going to see imagine seeing in a movie Grand Theft Auto style cars where like it's a Corvette and a Mustang at the same time.
Oh, right. And
you're like, what is that?
Yeah. I love that they do that in GTA though.
Yeah, me too, actually.
But I get what you're saying. Like they can't make, and like it's the easy way to fund your movie too. like, hey, we're gonna put
some of the
Volkswagen in this
really
movie.
Bad product placement.
Yeah.
Book of Eli. I think that movie's pretty good.
Okay.
Man, the product placement in that is just
Ray-Bans everywhere.
There will be a wide view of a dilapidated city.
Yeah.
And there will be a semi-truck with like a Budweiser logo completely fresh.
Yeah.
Like we need to have a Budweiser sponsor in here, but we can't make it look like a dirty truck Budweiser.
Right. You know what else did that?
What?
A game version of that? Do you remember Homefront?
Homefront, yeah.
They had like, to make it more feel like modern America that was getting invaded or whatever, they had like White Castles you could run through. There was NOS vending machines and stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you run through that game, you'll see so many different, which makes sense. It's a great way to fund whatever you're making because they'll just be like, hey, put this in our game or put this in your game. We'll pay a blank amount of money. And it makes more sense for that game too because it's an invasion in modern America. You got to put stuff in there that looks like modern day Americana. So you'll see a ton of different like fast food joints that you recognize you're shooting at because I can't remember if it's Korea or China is invading. I think it's China.
It's China.
Yeah. But Homefront did that a lot, which is funny.
Yeah. Man, there was another really good Operation Flashpoint on console.
Homefront Operation Flashpoint.
They had I'm just thinking of Chinese invasion games. Yeah. There was a North Korea invasion game and they invaded a friendly island that is an ally.
That's Operation Flashpoint?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was really, really good.
I never
really
played that game.
Cool story.
I've seen it everywhere.
In a military simulator.
Right, of course. It's a video game. Transformers, too. God, Transformers can do. They're just like, hey, Chevy, pick a car, we'll put it in the movie.
It's true. Sports games have a good opportunity to do.
They never do, though.
I know, they never do.
They never do. I think Madden does like a Pizza Hut one. That's actually not true. NBA 2K does almost to a fault.
ESPN
because it
stuff.
is only ads. Like they have Mountain Dew, they have Gatorade, they have Foot Locker, they have Nike, all the foot sponsorships.
No, I don't
Tissot
mean
watches. I mean, it's everywhere.
I don't mean like on the screen on the HUD. I just meant like where they would normally be in a sporting event.
So like more casual. Yes, I agree.
Like on the banners on the side, the rotating banners, the digital banners.
It's not like that though, unfortunately, because in 2K, and again, gamers got to rise up. In 2K, for whatever reason, they put you in your My Player, they put you in a hub world, and you are being just blasted with ads. Just blasted. It is unbelievable how bad it is.
Oh.
But gamers got to rise up though. At least
stop saying
Helldivers is off of, or you don't have to log into your PSN account to play it on Steam.
It's not gamers need to rise up. No one needs to rise up, but everybody should know. Everybody should feel that as a consumer, you have a lot of power. You do. And if you get a bunch of people together and you tell people not to support something and it's something that everybody feels passionate about, you can totally reverse stuff like this.
I agree with that, but I think it only works for a game like Helldivers 2 because they are a smaller developer.
Maybe, and
like if you
Helldivers 2 is also extremely loved by these people.
Right. But also 2K is, just using 2K as another example, a massive studio, for one, that makes these basketball games, and two, they are review bombed out the wazoo every single year, it feels like. And nothing happens. Because they know people are going to continue to buy it. They don't care.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. I think it happens more frequently with these smaller
that's
studios.
A little different because Helldivers is a passionate community. 2K, they are. Sorry, everybody.
Be careful here. Be careful.
Should I? I don't know.
If
I'm going to
NBA
say
2K stop. Hey,
it's
2K,
that other side of the sword where you're full of crap.
If NBA 2K stopped being made, there would be an outcry.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of people would be upset.
Way more people like 2K than
Helldivers
than people don't. And way more people do not like this PSN link than they do. No one likes it.
Of course. Right.
No, and there's a lot of people that like 2K. So they would, of course, they'd be upset if something changed or if they stopped making them.
But that's the problem, is it's become stagnant for 2K. So it's now like
I don't really play them that much. I do play. Well, I am going to get the new one I do have the new one. Forgot.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. You just buy it and you're like, all right, I have it on the back end.
It was part of the subscription of either PSN or Game Pass, I think.
Oh, okay, I got you. So gamers rose up.
Anyways, Nintendo.
Love Nintendo. Hey, you know what? Nintendo never rises up. Have they had anything like that?
I don't know. But Nintendo usually redefines itself.
Yeah, pretty consistently.
Once a decade?
Yeah.
Once every decade and a half?
Zelda, obviously, most recently. And even Super Mario, like even kind of swept under the rug a little bit, is Super Mario...
Paper Mario?
The new one, the newer one.
Galaxy? No, not Galaxy.
No, not Galaxy. I wanted to say
the hat one.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it.
Whatever. Not a fan.
But a lot of people like that game, and it was very well appreciated with different types of ways you can play that game. So yeah, they're a little opposite, and they also feels like they've never done anything wrong, which is crazy.
Yeah, have you ever played the Wii 2?
That's true. The Wii U, is that what you're talking about?
The Wii U,
yes. The Wii U. The Wii 2, you mean the Wii U.
Jeez, what? That's got to be the worst name in console history.
But if we don't get the Wii U, we don't get the Switch.
Exactly.
So...
And if you don't get the Virtual Boy either.
That's true. Whoever plays that. Okay, so yeah, Nintendo.
Okay, so they are going to announce their next console.
They're announcing an announcement.
Fiscal year. The company will also hold a Switch-focused Nintendo Direct in June, which is probably when they're going to announce it.
Yeah.
Now, I wrote a question here, James.
That's me. What's up?
What would Nintendo have to offer with this new Switch in order for you to buy it?
So the thing about the Switch that is always appealing for me is that it is so easy, and this is the Switch that we have out now. It is so easy to travel with. That's the biggest appeal for everybody, I think.
Okay, so you want to offer handheld.
I think that's the only thing that they're going. I don't think there's a situation in which they release this new console and it has the thing that came out with the original Switch where you can dock it and put it on your television. I think this is going to be a strictly handheld
Really? Okay.
console.
And that's a plus for you?
Yes, that's huge.
Okay,
I think they can dominate that area of gaming, in my opinion, because.
Well, they already do, yeah.
But that's what I mean, and they can extend on it even more with a more powerful. Because we just saw the Steam Deck come out.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful.
Hugely powerful, and Nintendo's compared to Nintendo Switch, it's like tenfold more powerful.
But Nintendo Switch has a better battery.
It has a better battery,
or a longer
but
battery.
They could also upgrade that a little bit more and make it a little bit better. I would like to see, in terms of software, there's not a lot of Nintendo exclusives that you can really get me with. To be honest with you, I haven't necessarily loved a lot of Nintendo stuff for a long time. But if they keep the SwitchCon stuff,
yeah, it's a no. Is that? Oh, those the controllers?
Yeah, the things that you can unplug out and whatnot. I like the SwitchCon stuff, but I'm kind of going back on what I was about to say because it doesn't really make any sense. So here's what I will say. I think they need to start doing more competitive sports style video games, but that are less Mario and Nintendo included. Does that make sense?
You want more third party support.
Yeah, exactly. And specifically sports games, because I think a sports game...
It's been Nintendo's problem for a lot of people for a long time.
And they do include some sports games that are put onto the Nintendo Switch, but it's not even like close to what the product should be, you know? Because they're not really made for that version.
They're downgraded.
Yeah, they're not made for the Switch, at all.
And that's what I mean. Nintendo Switch has a lot of third party support, of course. I'm talking about their A-list games that go to regular consoles and PC. Regular consoles, sorry.
Casual consoles.
I want them to bring a better version, I should say, or make a different version, or do something with the Switch.
Yeah, or at least something that...
The downgraded versions are a big turnoff for me.
Yeah, same. We also saw Mortal Kombat come to... The newest Mortal Kombat come to Switch, and it was a disaster. A complete disaster. Yeah. So, something that... And it doesn't even have to be one of the... like 2Ks or EAs or anything like that, like their version of football or their version of basketball or whatever. They can make their own version of it, I guess, if they wanted to, in-house or whatever, third party as well. And
bring Call of Duty Mobile to Switch.
That's a good idea. But Nintendo, I think, can do it in a way that also it makes it also incredibly addictive, because that is something that they're very good at. Their play cycle, I guess, is what it's called, or whatever. Their the thing that keeps you playing.
Their gameplay loop.
Yeah, their loop. Thank you. Their gameplay loop is something that is kind of unmatched by a lot of people.
Masterful.
Yeah, very, very well done. From Nintendo, basically all of their games.
The Nintendo first-party team, those guys,
they know what they're doing.
Masterful
loops.
Game loops. Like their games are fun.
Even Zelda, like I wasn't like Breath of the Wild. I wasn't the biggest fan of in the world.
Played it.
But even when I was playing, I was like, okay, this is fun. I can go here, then go here, then go here, then go here, and mapping it out, and then all of a sudden you find out and it's been 2 hours.
What would get me to buy it? I think this is it, by the way. I'm just going to say it. This next console I'm going to get, I'm going to be
Nintendo boy.
I'm not a Nintendo boy. Maybe a Nintendo man. No.
Nintendo man.
I haven't bought a Nintendo console since...
The Wii?
I haven't owned one since Nintendo 64.
You didn't have the Wii?
I had... My parents had the Wii. My friends did.
That counts.
My parents had... I wasn't living with my parents then.
Oh, okay.
I'm 40. I'm a man.
Sorry.
Come after me.
That's Mike Gundy, by the way. Wow, that's very inside. If you don't know who that is, look him up and look that clip up. It's hilarious.
One of the greatest
post-game press conferences of all time, for sure.
So my parents had a Wii, and I liked Wii Sports. Other than that, I didn't really like that at all. The Wii.
Oh, no. I'm the same way. I think Wii Sports was like so ahead of everything else that was trying to put stuff on it.
Mario Galaxy was really good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
The Resident Evil 4 Wii version was really good too.
Yeah.
But I think this will be my first time ever bought it. I think my roommate back in the day, when I got my first house or rental house where I'm from, he had a GameCube, and I loved that GameCube. I thought it was really cool. But I haven't bought one since Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to get this Switch 2 or whatever it's going to call. But what they're going to have to do is they're going to have a backwards compatibility system.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Where old games have to be up-resed.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Not have to be, maybe just playable or a higher frame rate or something. Because I would love to play Breath of the Wild, which I haven't played before, in 60 frames because I know it's stuck in 30.
I think that would be like people are going to buy this regardless because it's Nintendo, this upcoming console.
Yeah,
but if they were able to find a way that they could put their backlog on there as well as up-resing a large majority of their games from that backlog or the most famous versions of their games, that would
what
put it over the top.
Drives me nuts is that Nintendo hasn't reassured their hardcore audience that their old games are going to be playable in the future.
Right.
I mean, the Nintendo was they had that virtual service, the virtual console on Wii U, and Switch. And if you bought Super Mario Bros. 3 on your Wii and your Wii U, it wouldn't continue over to the next console is what I mean.
I see what you're saying.
So they have a history of leaving their backlog behind.
In the dust.
That would be a huge mistake because I would love to get one of these and buy an old used game.
So wait, if they were to say, bring on this new version of the Switch and then say, hey, we're actually porting 64 game, like Nintendo 64 games into the Switch, or not into, but purchasable versions of Nintendo Switch 64 games, would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
But you have to repurchase.
Yeah, it would be okay for me because I haven't had a regular Switch, but people who owned the Switch before,
right?
If they would have to repurchase
No, but I mean like this is the first. Have they put Nintendo or have they put?
Yeah,
Nintendo?
So they have old games. I forget they call it something, but yeah.
Right. But let's say it's a console they haven't ported into the Switch version of their games. So the NES, have they done games like that?
Yeah, they've done all of them.
into okay, all right. You know what? Screw it.
Yeah. Welcome to video games.
Hey, how about Game Boy Advanced? All right, let's say Game Boy Advance. They're putting Game Boy Advance games on the Switch, but you have to rebuy them because they can't fit the cartridges onto the Switch.
Yeah, it's these are all digital, anyways. By the way, that you're talking about.
Would you be upset about that? No.
No, I would. Nintendo has such a huge history of games. Man, they'd be really dumb to not include as much as you possibly can on their current systems. Xbox does it. And that's my favorite thing about having an Xbox. They don't have all their games, but
it'd be impossible to do that. But
yeah,
it maybe wouldn't be as impossible for Nintendo because they don't almost ever like license out. It's a lot of in-house stuff. So like they make a lot of the music in-house. Yeah. They don't really license out music from
I don't even know
different bands and or people not working within Nintendo. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I know exactly what you're saying, James.
Wii Sports, by the way, is the perfect example of what like a Nintendo-ified version of games of like sports.
For sure.
And like do that on the Switch, which is a big ask, obviously, because Wii Sports is one of the greatest games ever made. Big ask.
It's pretty good.
But that gameplay loop in that game is perfect.
In all the little games? Talking about the Wii Sports games?
Wii Sports games. Baseball, I adore, obviously.
Just swing.
They didn't have basketball. They had that on Wii Sports Resort. But then tennis is very good. I think tennis is a blast. Boxing is also very good.
The golf was a lot of fun too.
Golf is a lot of fun.
But the number one was the bowling.
Bowling, thank you. I couldn't remember what it was. Yeah, bowling. Bowling was incredible. It was perfect.
I used to bowl perfect games. And people were like, how the heck do you do that? And I would just sit down and just go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That maybe backfired on them a little bit. They're like, we're going to get these kids active.
Yeah, it did backfire. They had to
play baseball.
They had to do the Wii Motion Plus to really do a one-to-one. Yeah.
Right.
And no one bought it because there was so much shovelware on the Wii. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true. Guitar Hero 2.
Yeah. And then final news item.
Yeah.
Have you ever played Hades?
I would hate to say no. I was trying to do a Hades joke, but that didn't really work.
Oh, God.
No, I've never played Hades.
Hades, probably one of the top tier, definitely the top tier roguelikes.
A lot of people would say it was one of the great games of like the last 25 years.
It was came out in 2020.
Yeah.
I played it. It's one of those games where it's a hard game, of course.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. Story was really good. The hub world was really cool because if you don't know about roguelikes, you always die and you have to go back to your hub world and you upgrade your stuff. But in Hades, you were able to talk to members of your family because it's a Greek mythology game. And all these other Greek figures, they pop in and pop out. It was really cool talking to them and having some sort of conversation and relationship with them. But at one point in this game, you have to get good.
Right. There's a jumping off point.
there are a few walls that you have to hit where if you don't pass it, you're going to be doing the same thing over and over and over again until you just, I don't know,
get over
your eyeballs back and just go for it for 10 hours straight trying to redo this boss. It's just so hard. And I quit halfway through that game.
So you didn't finish it?
No.
Oh.
But I love those developers. Bastion, we've talked about them before. They're called Supergiant Games. They made Bastion.
Great Bastion.
Game.
Right.
I mean, a whole bunch of games.
From the preview that's come out, or is it a beta or it's in preview? Correct?
It's in preview. Early access, but I think it comes out this week.
I've heard it's very good.
Today.
Oh, hey, happy Hades launch day.
Yeah.
I've heard it's very good from everything that I've seen.
So have I. Everybody loves this game, and it's
not really surprising.
Such a great art style.
Yeah, it is cool. It does look very pretty. I will say that.
That artist they have on board, all their games look like his artwork, and he's so good.
Dude, shout out that artist from Hades.
One of the best. Whatever your name is, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Hades 2.
Yeah.
That's a big release for this year, by the way. Like, that's a pretty...
Yes.
It's not AAA, obviously, but like in terms of
indie games,
we're excited for.
In terms of indie games being single A or double A or whatever you want to call it, this is the most AAA indie game.
Batteries.
That's going to come out this year probably. And then there's another indie game that I'm really excited to play.
Hold on a second. You know what the greatest name... I saw the greatest video game name I've ever seen over this week.
Oh, really?
This weekend. The greatest video game name I have ever seen. There's this game where you are a Spartan of some kind.
Called Pools?
Nope. You're a Spartan of some kind, and you play a game where you are on the side of a pot, like old Greek, artistry where they would paint like pots and what.
Ceramic art.
Yeah. And it was called Apotheon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like the...
Apotheon.
Yeah. Like the...
Genius.
Apotheon. Yeah.
Apotheon.
Like the Parthian?
A Parthian, but it's Apotheon, which is also a Greek word, but it also, double entendre, a pot.
Good job.
Eon. And I was like,
of course you would love that.
That's what I like right there. That's the stuff I'm looking for. I have no idea who the developers. I'm sorry.
Speaking of double entendres, I like Little Kitty Big City.
Okay, dude. You don't have to intro it like that. Come on.
Stop messing with the mic, James.
The mic's falling apart here. Look, if I don't mess with the mic, this is
put some muscle in it. It's going to go...
Speaking of Little Kitty Big City, this gets really flaccid if I do not tighten this. Okay? I got to really...
Speaking of spam in your email...
Yeah. Flaccidity. Is that a word?
You just made it.
Hey,
I understand what you mean.
Dictionary.
Stop touching the mic.
Sorry, I'm really trying not to, but if it starts drooping down like that, and then it hits me in the chest.
Just go. Crank it.
Soldier Boy. That song came out 15 years ago this week.
Okay. That was the end of the news, by the way.
It was actually 20 years ago, if you can believe that. No, 15. 15. Sorry.
Notable games releasing this week.
Number one. Crank That Soldier Boy. He's got a dance game coming out. No, I'm just kidding.
This game is called Indika.
Indika. Really... Sorry, you go ahead. You go first.
Can I set it up real quick?
Yeah, set it up so I can knock it down.
This is a highly cinematic game.
Very pretty, from what have we seen.
Very realistic looking until you'll see. It's about a nun who's going through a bunch of spiritual internal decisions, I guess.
Battling with herself.
Yeah. And it's very weird, high contrast, highly realistic, with a lot of weird gameplay changes, I should say.
The trailer in this game, the second trailer that came out.
Talk about the first trailer.
Okay, the first trailer is bonkers. I thought it was from Stanley Parable. I'll be honest with you. I saw it and I was like, I have no idea what's going on. It's a lot of weird stuff that's happening that it looks like it's trying to be comedic as well in a very dark tone.
Motion capture, a lot like Hellblade.
Yeah. And then, but it's funny. Yeah. Seemingly from what they were going with.
It's got a lot of dark humor to it.
Yeah, it's really odd. And then the second trailer came out and the tone was completely different. It felt like more of a horror game that was very open, like lots of, in terms of the trailer itself and the shots they were getting, a lot of like parallels and stuff like that you were seeing, open spaces, like wide shots and whatnot. And, excuse me, that's a fine. It just felt a lot more like open and scary, and like you could let your mind kind of wander what was going on in the open spaces, and that was a lot different than the trailer we got the first time. So there are
different gameplay switches. I think when you get inside her head, maybe it'll go down on a top-down pixel game, Like zombies ate my neighbors, sort of.
It was really weird. I'm remembering that now.
And then side-scrolling like Mario Brothers, and then highly realistic like Hellblade. It's just strange.
I don't get the direction.
It's very intriguing. You should check out this
that's true.
trailer and play this game. I'm definitely going to play this game.
Watch both trailers. Don't just watch the first one. Watch the second one then.
There's the announcement trailer, and then there's the release trailer.
Right. And the release trailer is the one that I'm talking about that was more horror-centric. Yeah, it felt like.
And the cover of this game is really cool. Very all gray and black, except for behind the nuns, they have the sun. It's like the Renaissance era trend.
Michelangelo.
Yeah. Where you put a crown of sun behind their head, very golden.
Okay.
Harsh, like contrast.
Right.
Really cool cover.
It looks cool. Like, hey, it looks beautiful.
It does look really good.
I also have no idea what I'm playing.
Yeah, good luck figuring that out.
Yeah.
It has a lot of Hellblade vibes.
So. It does. Until you're a little pixel person running around. And
I'm definitely
zombies ate my neighbors. I don't know. It's very odd.
I'll be playing it tomorrow.
Well, you'll have to tell us next week.
Arena Breakout PC closed beta comes out right now.
Hey, it's a perfect time to break out. It's a closed beta.
Yeah, you know what? It's really true. And it's called Arena Breakout something. I just don't know. I'm so tired of these stupid names.
Wait, they named the beta? Or
no, it's the PC version of Arena Breakout. Arena Breakout is a mobile game, and then their PC version, which is a lot better, of course, is Arena Breakout something.
Right.
I call
Unleashed
it
or something
Arena Breakout PC version. That's what I'm going to call it. Okay. This is one of the games that's going to take away Tarkov players, I think.
What happened to that, by the way? That feels like a lot of that talk died down over the last week.
Deuce hasn't installed it. He's playing Fortnite.
Dang. Down bad, Deuce. I understand. That sucks, man. That's not great, dude.
I mean, I like Fortnite.
Deuce, you're going to go back eventually.
Yeah, you probably will. The next game. So, by the way, Arena Breakout, I think it looks really good.
Okay.
From what I'm hearing, the people that have got their hands on this game, there's some shenanigans with in-game purchases. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to Tarkov and these but extraction shooters, if you run into somebody, if you buy a skin for a gun and you lose it because it's rare, like you go into, if you have an M4 and you go into your raid and then you die, you lose your M4. So a lot of people are experiencing these in-app purchases or in-game purchases.
Oh, I see.
Where they don't know what's going to happen. Are people going to have their loot forever, their guns forever? Because that would be almost pay to win. I don't know. We'll figure that out.
It would make sense if they lost their gun, but maybe they just kept their skin. So you can put the skin again on the M4 if you get the M4 again.
Yeah, but I think there's some other shenanigans going on regarding purchases.
What's the other one? The other Tarkov-like shooter that's coming out?
Vigor is a third-person action.
No. The other one that I think is coming out.
Gray Zone. Came out.
Isn't that... It's also in a beta right now too?
Early access, yeah.
Right.
Beta.
So that's happening.
We talked about that last week. Beta. What does that mean? It doesn't mean
anything anymore.
Who knows?
It's a marketing word at this point.
All right. So V Rising is a action RPG. Comes out like Diablo.
V Rising.
It was in early access last year for a long time. People love this game. That's finally coming out. Game I'm really excited to play with my son.
V Rising.
Little Kitty Big City.
Sorry. Why would you play that with your son?
It's a family game.
Double entendre.
James.
Yeah. It looks cool. I saw the trailer for this. You showed me the trailer for this. It looks great.
I think it's made by the guys who make Goose Game.
Untitled Goose Game.
I
love the word goose.
Me too.
Goose.
Big old goose.
So yeah, it looks really cool. I liked it. You're playing a little black kitty. It reminds me a lot of the game that you said earlier that I can't remember the name. Stray. Thank you. It feels like that, but more relaxed and like something you kind of sit down and actually.
Hopefully, because this is an open world game. It's almost like Goat Simulator, but more realistic.
Right.
You can trip people. It's funny. Yeah. My cat trips me all the time, and I can't wait to play. Is this little kitty tripping people?
I almost tripped over my cat earlier this week.
I hope that it's not like Stray when it comes to platforming. In Stray, you basically aim the camera to a ledge you want to jump at, then you press A. Hopefully in this game, you can actually control the jump of your cat.
Right.
I would like that.
We'll see.
Please.
It's more of a top-down, too. Isn't Stray's a little bit more of like a third-person kind of?
Yes, Stray is a straight-up third-person.
Right, okay.
This is more of almost like straight isometric. Up. It's like Goose Game. Have you ever seen that?
Goose Game, yeah.
Homeworld 3. People love Homeworld games.
Shout out Homeworld.
They're not... I like them. They're okay.
I'm going to look up Homeworld because I don't even know what that is, but maybe I will know what that is.
It's like a space sim, but also flight sim and arcade elements to it, and it's fun.
You can't have a space sim if it's not a flight sim as well.
And another big game coming out. It's actually not a game. It's an update. Should have been in the game.
Oh, yeah.
I was told that Starfield cannot run at 60 frames a second on Xbox Series X. Well, that was a big lie. Thanks, Todd.
Shout out, Todd. Big guy.
On the 15th.
Getting older, though, Todd.
They're updating this game to run at 60 frames and 40 if you have a VRR TV, variable refresh rate.
Lots of other stuff coming, too.
Yeah,
they have other map adjustments that they're making.
Yeah, tell me about that. I don't know what that is.
So the map in the original one, or the vanilla version of Starfield, was really almost inoperable, at least when you were on planet. It was more specified for, or like built for, like the galaxy type of map.
So was it a static map, or was it like try to be a 3D rendering map?
No, it wasn't 3D rendered. It was more like
I don't remember.
It was more like they will give you the map, like the actual map of the city that you're in or whatever, but there's no really knowing where you are on the actual map.
Oh, I got
It's just like a static map of the map that, or of the city that you're in. So people get really lost all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a prominent thing. And the only way you could get back to your ship, for the most part, is like if you look in the direction of where your ship was.
And you see on the HUD.
Yeah, and then you would be like,
I remember
fast travel back to my ship. But that was it. And now they're fixing it.
I might play this more now because I'm not going to play this while sitting in molasses.
I beat it in 30 frames.
And that's the game.
New world
releasing this week. And
this is going to be a Starfield week.
Speaking of molasses, I just want to talk real quick about the games I'm playing, James. Can I go first?
This is a pretty good lineup here.
Of the games I'm playing?
Yeah.
I know.
Number one
is not, I'm not going in order. Oh. I just want to get this out of the way. Red Dead Redemption 2. I have said this many times that I'm not a fan of this game.
Are you playing it again?
I want to play a cowboy game.
Yeah, that's the best one.
And John Marston and Arthur, whatever his name is, Morgan, are great cowboys in the cinematic world of cowboy movies and games.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I was playing it last night, and in a shootout, there's a wave of people coming. Mm-hmm. I feel like if they would have just rushed me, they would have easily beaten
overwhelmed you.
But they hide in the back and hide behind trees and stuff, and they run right at you because they're dumb.
Classic Rockstar.
And I was trying to shoot, and why is Rockstar have? It's 2024. I know the game came out a few years ago, but there's a lock-on cover system.
Oh, true.
Why? Yeah. So I locked on, and I was trying to go around the corner. You can't. You have to unlock, and you're super slow, and you have to move hard and get around the other corner of the tree.
You're a cowboy.
It's dumb. And I got killed, and I'm reminded how bad the controls are in this game. They're so bad. The worst controlling video game I have ever played in my entire life when it comes to big budget games that people love. I mean, Superman 64 is a really bad controlled game, but no one likes that game. Everybody loves Red Dead Redemption 2, and I have no idea what they're playing.
Have you ever thought that maybe you're the problem?
No, I'm not the problem. Why'd you do that, James?
I didn't mean to. I dropped a mic. I apologize. I dropped a microphone. Is it?
Yes.
Gosh. We'll have to cut that. I'm just gonna put it like that.
No. Don't keep it on the. Keep it there.
Welcome to bloopers.
The video game gods hate me because I'm saying this. That's why.
Have you ever thought you were the problem? Maybe.
No, I'm not the problem. I play a lot of video games.
If everybody else is having a good time with it and it plays well and everything like that. But
they don't know how to control third-person video game. Then I don't get it. Arthur Morgan is always in molasses. He's in 8 feet of mud constantly.
He's a cowboy. He's running in cowboy boots.
How many times are we going to talk about this on this podcast?
That's you. I'd never bring this game up.
I can't stand the controls in this game. They're so bad.
You're the only one.
And the 30 frames. I get it. It's fine. It makes the first-person aspect of this game, which is cool, unplayable.
I never.
Because
I don't
it's
play
in 30
GTA
frames and it takes you 10 seconds to turn around.
Nobody should play those games in first person.
But it would be great in 60 frames. And just, I want my guy to be aware of his surroundings. Instead, he's like a puppet that you're trying to hold. It's annoying. It's really bad. I hate it. Sorry.
Arthur. We're going to Tahiti.
And also, real quick, you told me that spoilers, he gets sick from a mission.
Yeah.
With Hosea?
One of the collection missions.
Collection missions. Is it early in the game?
I don't know. I can't remember. I always mix these two up. But it's either Hosea or the German guy.
That is the German guy.
Okay. And maybe it's not. I don't think it's Hosea. I think it's... there's another guy that's in your group. He's a lot more of a minuscule character, if you will.
Is he the preacher guy?
No.
The alcoholic? I think that's funny.
No, he's usually like kind of sitting by himself. It's not Hosea. I know that because it's like that's kind of the big three of the group. Hosea.
He's always with Dutch, yeah.
Hosea, Dutch, and Arthur. Yeah. At least in that game. But there's another guy. It's going to bother me that I can't remember his name. I want to say it's like Steiner or something stupid like that. But he sends you on collection missions where you have to go get money that you've loaned out. To other people. Okay. And there's a mission where, how far are you? Like, where's your campsite at?
It's still in the first place, outside of the snowy mountains.
Okay.
Is it after that?
Nope. In that spot.
That's why I'm wondering if I already did it and I missed it because I want to catch it.
Have you done those collection missions yet?
I don't remember. The save before. I mean, I've gotten really far in this game, but I replayed it last year.
Right.
On PS5.
It is subtle. Like it is. You don't really know. Like you get an idea that something has maybe gone awry in this moment, but you don't realize that this was the.
I know that he's like constantly coughing later in the game, and
it's the point. It's the part. Spoiler. It's the part. It's the part where you go and there is this guy. It's like a little farmstead essentially across like the river from where you are.
Okay.
And you go and try to collect, and this guy is like farming his fields, and he looks sick. He looks like he's pretty sick, and then you beat him up because he's not willing to give you the money, and he needs like the money obviously because he's sick. He has to pay stuff, and then you beat him up, and you get blood on you. And the blood, it's like it spurts in your mouth.
It's like tuberculosis then.
Yeah, it's TB. I got TB.
The lunger?
I got tuberculosis. Sister, I'm scared. That's a scene later in the game. You'll get there.
Does he marry her? All right.
Red Dead, love it. Oh, God, I love Red Dead.
Okay. Yes.
It's so good.
I would love to love this game.
You know what they
control
need?
Better.
Here's the thing I will say about that game. They need part of that game to be, or like something on the side of that game where you can just be a cowboy, where you can have a grouping of cattle. You can have a little farm.
They need a quick travel system, and I'm not talking about stagecoaches. They take you to other stagecoaches, and you still have to travel. It's really annoying. Load.
Yeah, but it's the whole West.
Yeah,
that's why
I go from point A to point B, and then I have to go all the way back to point A again to go to my camp and drop off money and stuff.
Have you got?
But I have to. It takes 15 minutes to get there.
Yeah, but the writing's. I love the writing in that game.
It is fun.
It's amazing.
It's great, and I always do the cinematic thing. But when you do it 30 times,
I like the writing more than I like the driving in GTA.
Oh God, no.
Sorry, I just think it's much more.
It's just tapping A.
It's much more. It is much more cinematic though. It feels like
this is what I'm
watching a movie.
I hold the button. The back button or the touchpad on the PS5. I hold it to do the cinematic version. Then if you hold A, your horse will just go to the objective no matter what you do, even if a coyote tries to eat you. And then it looks cool and the music is great. And then you're like, okay, do I have to sit through that again? I have to sit through that again, or I can just tap A and hurry up and get there.
Wait, so does that mean you're missing out on like random events?
No, the random events still happen.
They still pop up. Yeah. Have you gotten to the one most famous random event in that video game?
Is it?
Yeah, I was trying to help you dodge that.
Yeah, of course.
That's a great moment because you're like, really, I gotta let off some steam.
Yeah, it's really great. I hog-tagged one guy.
This is for Lenny.
I hog-tagged one guy, and then I brought him to see if the members would do anything about it, but they don't. Catch my drift?
Yeah, I got it.
But it's not really. Then I go and I set them all on fire.
Of course. That's what you should do. That's a great...
Isn't it? I think they do catch on fire on accident in one of the things, because you come across them a couple times.
Maybe. I only saw them the one time.
You knock something over and they try to pick it up, I think, and they get on fire and they're like, hey, like Henry's on fire, and they go to pat him down and then he catches on fire, like, oh, I'm on fire.
What? Oh man, I missed that.
They all like catch on fire. If you stay and watch them for a while, just like other Rockstar games, if you stay and watch them for a while, they do funny things. Have you come across the encampment where they're logging and they're cutting down tall trees?
Is this still the triple,
early in the game?
The triple.
No.
Oh, okay.
Just normal people.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah. And by the way, I guess, yeah, triple should be a better way to say because it's probably going to get flagged somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was trying to lead you into it a little bit more softly.
It's in the game. It's whatever.
Yeah, but we're still talking about it. We killed them all, by the way, YouTube. Please leave us alone.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, killing humans is so good. I mean, they're video game characters.
Right.
All right, so...
I love... wait, hold on. Red Dead. Hold on, one more thing.
The trees. If you watch them cutting down the trees, they will fall over. And,
I've seen that one.
Like, they'll hurt somebody.
Yeah, it hurts. And you have to go get help.
Yeah.
The gun cleaning in that game, I love it. I love it.
It's one of the many things I don't like about it.
You get your gun oil out and you just...
There you go. If you don't brush your horse starts to hate you.
Yeah, that too, dude. I love it, dude. I've never felt more cowboy than going to Tahiti and getting my gun oil starting it up.
I don't even like this game. We talked about it for 15 minutes.
Here's the thing. You can't say, sure, you might dislike it, whatever. You can't say that game's not incredibly innovative in what they were able to do.
Yeah, it is. It's just, it's not innovative. They go back to like 20 years when it comes to controls.
Think about the hair stuff. Oh, unbelievable. Your hair grows out the longer you keep it. No game does that.
Yeah, they do.
No. GTA doesn't do that.
Mad Max does that.
Yeah, but Mad Max came out after.
No, it didn't.
Is that true? I don't know.
I don't know.
Pretty close.
It's pretty close, yeah.
Anyways,
the other game I'm playing. Can I talk about the games I'm playing? For God's
sure.
sake, I just want to talk about that for a second.
Sounds like you want to play.
I know it's a hot topic.
Sounds like you want to play Red Dead.
I do. I want to play it on
there
PC.
You go.
With 144 hertz on a NASA computer.
I also love the drastic differences in like landscape in that game. Like you'll go from like Valentine, which is in the mountains, and then you ride your horse for 25 minutes, and you're in the swamps of Louisiana.
Yeah. All right, the other game playing the finals. I gave the finals another shot, not because of that mode. I don't really like that game mode, that bank mode.
Yeah.
There's a new 5v5 mode where it's almost like Counter-Strike. It's a defusal type. You bring something to A or B, and then it diffuses, and some of the defenders have to stop you from doing it. No respawn, no healing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a large amount of health, but at least there's no healing. So that was my biggest gripe from the vanilla game.
I love that when a newer version of a first-person shooter comes out, and if it doesn't do very well, it can always rely on coming back to one of the big three.
Good old Counter-Strike,
Call of Duty style, or Halo style.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, well, this is just where we'll live.
Yeah, it's what people are used to, and it's been done, perfected, so that's where you go back to. But it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. It's pretty good.
All right.
I think you'd like it, this mode.
I like the bank mode.
You do?
Yep. I did like the bank mode. I enjoyed it.
I don't really like shooting people and then other people healing, and I don't like people who go invisible either.
It's just, I always thought of it as more a different version of like Capture the Flag.
Yeah, I guess. It is hectic. Same with this mode. The rounds go by pretty quick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it a lot.
The Levolution is really cool in that game.
The graphics are fantastic.
Yeah.
This has the best graphics when it comes to first-person competitive shooter.
Right.
Like
and
this.
it runs well.
It does run really well.
Because I mean,
I saw a whole floor come down.
Yeah.
No, nothing dropped.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive what they're able to do with that game.
This game feels like a PC game. It feels like a mouse and keyboard game, I should say. Because the FOV from default is really wide.
Mm-hmm. And the time to kill.
Time to kill is long.
There's an eternity in that game.
And there's a lot of, I guess, on the fly stuff that you would need to do. Like pick up something, throw it, switch your grenade.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's pretty good. I just wanted to shout it out. I'm giving it a second chance. And
shout out it wasn't, the first time was not your final chance.
No.
Of the finals.
Yeah, good job.
Thanks, dude.
Playing Halo, I thought their new season is great.
Halo.
Their new competitive map, whatever it's called. It's an old Halo 5 map.
If I were to guess a name, it would probably be correct.
Go. Correct. Yes. It's like corruption or overgrown. Yeah,
that's a good one. That's a good one. Hold on. I'm thinking Valley.
Nope.
Oh, dang it. Close
coagulation was one of the greatest.
What was it called?
Coagulation.
Coagulation.
Coag?
No. Coag. Wow. Coagulation.
Why did I say coag?
I don't know. You're thinking of Gears of War, the cog?
Who knows?
Coagulation.
I'm playing Session. It's a
the
skateboarding game.
Man.
I was in a flow state type of mood.
Mood? Like Avatar?
In video games, where you want to sit back and just let
chill.
your hands play.
Yeah. I get that.
Session is really good. There's a big problem with this game is that
it's not Skate 4.
Yeah, you're right. When you hit the wall or something, when you fall, your guy collapses like a sack of marbles. And it looks so dumb. Everything looks super realistic until you fall, which is part of skateboarding, and it just looks goofy. I still go back and play Skate 3. So I did play Skate 1 and 3. 2, I have.
Never played it.
I went to go download it, and it said you need to put the disc in, and I couldn't put the disc in. I couldn't find it,
Rip.
And I like Skate 2 the best. Skate 1 was really innovative and cool, but had some problems. Skate 2 is when it really perfected it. And Skate 3 is where they kind of made it more accessible.
Yeah.
I don't think the city is as cool.
Skate 3, you can throw a baby on that game and they'll figure it out eventually.
Exactly. And then another flow state. I was like, when I was thinking that flow state mode, I really wanted to play Wipeout on PS5 and PS4.
The racing
PS3.
game?
Yeah, Wipeout. I love Wipeout. One of my favorite franchises ever. Those guys don't exist anymore. They were Psygnosis, and they turned into London.
The whole city?
Sony London, I think. The whole city. But they don't exist anymore, and a couple of them made a game called Redout, and so I bought Redout. I bought Redout Part 2.
I remember when the first game was coming out, Redout Part 1.
Not nearly as good as Wipeout.
It's not Wipeout.
No.
Never will be.
So I gave up on it.
Sorry,
Redout, but...
You want to know what's sad?
Almost.
When did Wipeout come out?
The original Wipeout? It was a PS1 launch game.
Okay. So
94, 95?
Here we go. Perfect. That's perfect. Because you know what the difference is between, like, generationally, the difference between you and me?
What?
Wipeout, when you say Wipeout, you think of the racing game on the PlayStation 4. When I hear Wipeout, show. I think of the TV show. And I'm like, oh, they made a game from the TV show? That's weird. That's just, I never played Wipeout.
Wow, you never played? Dude,
Never,
get Wipeout HD Collection or whatever it's called on PS5. Get it. It's so good.
HD Collection.
Yeah,
they
because
HD remastered it?
No, because Wipeout on PS4 remastered Wipeout HD. Remember when games were called Wipeout HD or blah, blah, blah
we
HD
did this last
on
week.
PS3? Yes.
Yeah.
Beyond Good and Evil
Silent
HD.
Hill, yeah.
Well, the PS4 version up-resed it and made it really nice on PS4 with VR as well.
Mm-hmm.
But on PS5, it looks even better because they added a little more things.
Okay.
And all the collection. It's really, really
Wipeout.
good.
You know what they need to bring back?
Really good.
As well as Wipeout?
What?
Bring that back, even though it doesn't exist anymore, the developers. SSX.
Yeah.
You remember SSX?
Yeah, very
those
good
games
game.
were good.
Tricky was really cool.
Yeah. Those were cool.
PS2.
Only they have a couple snowboarding-esque games out right now, but they're not SSX.
I remember when I used to play SSX a lot on PS2, and then I got an original Xbox, and I got Amped, which is what their version was.
Right.
It's not much like SSX, but it was a lot better, and I remember telling my friends who loved SSX, I'm like, dude, try Amped 1 and 2. Way better. And they're like, what?
No, it's not.
You mean that Halo machine?
How about you shut your mouth?
How about you shut your mouth? Oh, boy. Anyways, that's all I'm doing.
Same.
That's it for me.
I was playing Fallout.
That game sucks.
Still there. I'm a day in. I'm a day and 16 hours into that video game, and
You're
it's
20?
not my first time.
What?
Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
Playing it like a fiend. I got my buddy Valentine. We're roaming around just like good old times. I got my buddy Dog Meat as well.
Dog Meat?
Because I put the mod on there. So it's Dog Meat, me, Valentine. We're just roaming
so you got
the
multiple,
yeah, just Dog Meat. It can be Dog Meat plus somebody else.
So the mods on Skyrim are really cool when it comes to companions. Are they cool on Fallout 4?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't messed with them. I haven't messed with the mods very much, or the companion mods too much, other than the Dog Meat one. Because I'm like, I want Dog Meat.
There are some really good ones on Skyrim, like very, very good.
Dragon companion.
There probably is one.
Probably.
No, just
Game of Thrones was popular.
It's a normal characters, voice acted.
Oh, cool.
Oh
man, I saw a version of Skyrim that really made me not happy. By the way, and this is gonna be the last thing we talk about.
Yeah.
It was Skyrim VR.
Yeah.
But what they did to it,
the girl with the suit?
Yes.
Yeah. Technical difficulties.
Sorry, the computer died. As I was saying, there was a Skyrim mod that I saw. There was a girl in the suit, which you brought up off recorded. Yeah, she was in a suit that like did the pain and everything like that. But the thing that really bothered me was it was like a predictive AI model that was being used for all of the non-playable characters in the game.
Yeah.
And that made me really sad because I was like, there's people that poured hundreds of thousands of hours into writing just the non-playable characters in Skyrim.
Yeah, and it's also voiced by like 2 people, 3 people.
Yeah, but still, I'd rather have that than
I used to be an adventurer like you until I took an arrow to the knee.
Yeah.
By the way, James, you don't know this.
I took an arrow to the knee.
I told you what that meant. It means getting married.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Proposing on a knee. Not actual arrow to the knee. It's like,
right.
I used to be an adventurer like you, and then I got married.
Interesting. I did know that.
Yeah.
Because you told me.
I know. But I haven't told them.
Hey, shout out.
Yeah, speaking of that. Yeah.
Let's wrap up. This has been kind of a mess at the end here, but that's okay. We're back, and now we're recording the outro.
I got a magical jacket on.
Yeah, he just randomly started wearing a jacket. My collar's fixed, by the way, from the previous 45 minutes of this episode that wasn't fixed.
If you don't like this, then leave it in the comments and come after that guy.
Yeah, or
come after me.
You know what? How about, here's an idea. How about you produce the podcast? Huh? You want to do that? We'll fly you out.
Yeah,
not really. Don't do that.
For God's sake.
We're done.
Come after me. I'm 40.
Yeah, that's going to be the last thing we say.
Go ahead.
See you guys later. Episode 45. Shout out Pedro Martinez. Doing well. We'll see you next week. We're going to talk about something random. Little kitty, big city.
Yep.
See you guys next week.
See ya. Come after me. I'm 40.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
I'm a man. My kid gets bullied at school. Come after me.